Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me? Okay, great. Thank you.
Test 1, 2.
Yes. Yes, I can hear you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you all for joining us today for the Lancaster Independent School District meeting.
Recording in progress.
Today is March 27th, 2025 p.m. I will acknowledge we have a quorum. The meeting is being held at Lancaster Administration Building, Board Auditorium, 422 South Central Avenue, Dallas, Texas. This meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. I will now call roll. Ms. Hamilton.
Present.
Ms. Nichols, Trustee Nichols.
Present.
Trustee Cluis.
Present.
And Carolyn Morris, myself, present. We have President Jones.
Present.
And we have Trustee Whitfield,
I'm here.
both by Zoom. Thank you all very much. We will now pass it over. I would like to acknowledge that we as a board continue to meet and look at our goals as presented by the district and adhere to them. And at this time, we will go into recess. And we will go into recess under the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code 551071, legal advice with school attorney, 551.072, deliberation regarding real property, 551074, personnel matters, and 551076, deliberation regarding security device and security audit. And we will now go into closed session.
Trustee Morris,
Yes.
since it seems as if you're presiding over the meeting today at this time, are you able to advise who all will be attending the closed session in person?
Well, everyone that called as present being in the boardroom, and we have a quorum.
I'm speaking of the closed session. Who will be in closed
Everyone
session?
that's here in the public meeting, which is Trustee Hamilton, Trustee Nichols, Trustee Cluis, and myself, Carolyn Morris.
And what attorney will be representing at this time?
Our attorney is Mr. O'Hanlon, Attorney O'Hanlon.
Kevin O'Hanlon? Okay, thank you.
You're more than welcome. Thank you. All right, members.
Recording in progress.
Thank you. Can you hear me now? All right. It is now 6:13, and the meeting is called to order. In the hallway. I will give them time to enter the room. Thank you. The date is March 27th, 2025. The time is 6:14 p.m. The meeting of the Lancaster Independent School District is now called to order at this time. The meeting is being held at the Lancaster Administration Board Auditorium at 422 South Central Avenue, Lancaster, Texas. This meeting has been posted in accordance with the Open Meetings Act, and now we will take roll. Ms. Hamilton, Trustee Hamilton.
Present.
Trustee Nichols.
Present.
Trustee Cluis.
Present.
Trustee President Jones.
Present.
Trustee Whitfield.
Present.
And we have absent Trustee Smith. At this time, we will turn it over to Dr. Pereira.
Thank you, Secretary Morris. It's my understanding we want to begin with the action items. Is that the wish and will of the board? Yes. Okay. So we'll begin there. And my first presenter is Ms. Bell to discuss the possible approval of the 2025-26 instructional material adoption. Ms. Bell, the floor is yours when you are ready.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, Madam Secretary, distinguished board members, and Dr. Pereira. This evening, I would like to discuss for possible approval of 2025-2026 instructional materials. So each year, each district in Texas is allocated instructional materials and technology allotment, also known as the IMTA funding. It is a biannual funding source that is provided to all districts. The IMTA can be utilized to purchase instructional materials, technology equipment, certain related software systems and services, and even specific technical support employees. The funding can be used to support specific technical support employees as well. So I wanted to provide you the House Bill 1605 instructional materials information so that you can have that information at your fingertips, just to be able to read over the House Bill 1605 information. On this particular slide, this is our instructional materials adoption process. Wanted to share that with you. As a district, we created our cycle, our adoption cycle. I wanted to share what that looks like from August through the end of the fiscal year and how we go about engaging our stakeholders, involving our instructional team, as well as district leaders in the district to make sure that we are purchasing the best products from the publishers. As mentioned in our last board meeting, Dr. Barker talked about during the Bluebonnet curriculum adoption that we would be looking at adoption materials for geometry, algebra 2, and CTE. And so on this slide, I wanted to share tonight that we have essentially followed the same process that we followed for the Bluebonnet, engaging our community stakeholders as well as district leaderships. And at this time, we are recommending to the board that we would like to go with Agile Minds for geometry and for Algebra 2. And then for CTE, we have 4 areas that we're looking at for curriculum. We would like to go with Goodhart Wilcox for commercial photography 1 and video game design. And we would like to go with Curriculum Center for Family and Consumer Services for communication and technology and education, as well as instructional practices. And that's it. At this time, do you have any questions? I'll take any questions. Thank you.
Okay. Make a motion first, please. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the 2025 instructional material adoption as presented.
I have a motion by you all. We are using electronic. So, Ms. Whitfield, President Jones, all have your computer.
Yes, ma'am. Votes have been cast.
And due to the system that I'm using, the option did not come up for me. So I will be casting my vote verbally.
Beg your pardon, Ms. Trustee Whitfield, what did you just state?
Yes.
Yes, what? Would you repeat what you just stated?
I'm sorry?
Would you repeat what you just stated, ma'am?
Oh, I'm sorry. The option to use the same system as the dais did not come up. So at this time, I will be verbally voting. Prior, it did pop up. It would automatically pop up, but it didn't pop up this time. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on. So I'll be verbally voting.
All right.
I'm working on it to see if it's on my end, though.
All right. Before we vote, Trustee Whitfield, did you notify technology or Ms. Allen that you were not being able to get online to vote?
I am online. The option to vote did not pop up. I'm signed in and I'm fine. But for some reason, it was just presented during this voting option. So I would not know if it's going to work until the option presents itself. At this time, it has not presented itself. So therefore, I am looking to see if it's on my end. And actually, it just popped up. I'm not sure if anybody did anything, but it just popped up, so I just voted. We can move forward. Thank you, though.
Trustee Morris, President Jones has his hand up.
I'm sorry.
President Jones had his hand up.
Yes, I'm sorry, President Jones. Can't get in.
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just going to recommend that you refresh your screen, but everything has been resolved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Board Secretary, Mrs. Morris,
Yes.
I do not have your vote. Whenever you're ready.
I know, I'm getting in right now. Oh, thank you. Did you receive all votes?
Thank you, Board Secretary. Mrs. Morris, yes. As a matter of fact, according to the results, motion carried unanimously.
All right, Dr. Pereira, the next item. And, but before you start, I'm going to turn it over to Vice President Smith. Are you prepared?
I will be shortly, but for the record, I arrived at 6:24.
6:24. If you would like, I could go ahead and,
If you could do the next item, I'll take it after that.
there you go. Dr. Pereira, the next agenda item.
Yes, thank you, Secretary Morris. I'll begin with 12.2, discussion and possible approval of LISD certification and provisions of instructional materials survey. And again, that presenter is Ms. Bell.
Thank you, Dr. Pereira. Good evening, Secretary Morris, distinguished board members, and Dr. Pereira. This evening, I would like to discuss and seek possible approval for LISD certification of provision of instructional materials survey, also known as the TEKS verification document.
Thank you so very much.
So I wanted to mention a couple of things. So with this TEKS verification document, each year this document is utilized to certify instructional materials with the state indicating that we are providing a guaranteed viable curriculum for all staff and students. And so we've provided this information to our board, and it will be signed tonight to certify that we are providing all of those curriculum pieces as well as our renewals for our staff and our students here in Lancaster ISD for the 25-26 school year. And that's it. And that is the document that they've pulled up. But I'll take any questions at this time.
So thank you very much. Do anyone have any questions for Ms. Bell? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote.
I make a motion that we approve of the Lancaster ISD certification of provision of instructional material survey.
And I second.
Have a motion by Trustee Hamilton and a second by Trustee Nichols. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. Trustee Cluis.
We're gonna.
Did everyone receive it? Trustee Whitfield, did you receive it?
I did. Thank you.
You're welcome. Trustee Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Madam Secretary, I did not. Give me a second. I'll log off and log back in. Thank you.
Trustee Morris.
Yes, ma'am.
Just for the record, I would like to state that the option to vote came up again as if I did not vote. So I'm going to vote again. However,
hold on
this
before
came
you
up.
do that. Hold on, Trustee Whitfield. What did you receive Ms. Allen, did you receive her vote?
Thank you, Board Secretary. Mrs. Morris, yes, Trustee Whitfield, I do have your vote.
She did receive your first vote.
Okay. And I would like to get clarity, if possible, on the initial vote, because this is our second vote. The initial vote, can you please clarify for the record, what did we, because I'm going off based on what popped up, and I would just like to get clarity, what was the first vote over?
Do you have the agenda in front of you, Trustee Whitfield?
I
Okay,
do, but I'm speaking of what's popping up on my screen.
Okay.
Are
do
you?
Hold on, please. Do you
Okay.
see 12.2?
Okay, that was the first vote, and then we just vote again, correct?
No, 12.1 was the first vote that you did not vote. You voted verbally. The second vote was 12.2, presented by Ms. Bell.
Okay.
Did she vote no?
Just for clarification,
Ms. Allen finna answer.
yes, just for clarification, on behalf of Trustee Whitfield, yes, she did utilize her device and voted electronically for the action item for 12.1, and also I received her vote for 12.2.
Thank you very much. Did you hear that?
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Would you, Ms. Allen, did you receive everybody's vote?
Yes, thank you, Board Secretary. Mrs. Morris, as a matter of fact, as a result, motion carried unanimously.
Thank you very much. And at this time, Vice President Smith had entered the room at 6:45?
6:24.
6:44, and he will now take over.
Thank you very much, Madam Secretary. I do appreciate it. Apologies for my tardiness all. We are now up to agenda item number 12.3, discussion and possible approval of special education contract services with DFW Speech Solutions and Stepping Stone Group in the amount amount to exceed, is that written properly? Amount to exceed 100,000 by the end of 24-25 school year.
I'll clarify when you give it to me.
Okay, Dr. Pereira.
Thank you, Vice President Smith. Yes, that is to not exceed 100K. So we'll have Ms. Crystal Cromer come forward and present that information to our board and our community.
Okay, good evening, Vice President Smith, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Pereira. Yes, this discussion is to approve the special education contract services that will exceed 100K by the end of this school year, okay? And these special education contract services are with DFW Speech Solutions and Stepping Stones Group's services are both approved vendors that we have used since the beginning of the 24-25 school year, and their vendor fee will exceed 100K for each one of them. They're providing speech and language pathology services, speech and language pathology assistant, and a therapist that provides monolingual and bilingual speech evaluations, as well as monolingual and bilingual speech therapy. Stepping Stones Group also provides licensed specialists in school psychology. That psychologist provides psychological evaluations for students for autism evaluations, and as well as IEP development. We also receive services through Stepping Stones Group for speech and language pathology. Any questions?
Board, this is an action item. Do I have any questions? I would like to ask, is there an estimate as to how much we're talking about exceeding?
Yes, so for DFW Speech Solutions, because we do have a full-time speech pathologist that's being used, as well as a speech therapist, it is already at about getting to 108. So by the end of this school year, it will possibly be about 115. Okay. As far as Stepping Stones Group, they will probably hit 105 to 110.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate that clarification.
Vice President Smith, I have a statement.
Madam Secretary.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Pereira. Dr. Pereira, thank you so much for allowing this to happen. Ms. Cronin, this is very much needed, and I do know federal funding will kick in with this, and this is important, not for just the special ed student, but for every student to be identified at risk. So thank you again.
Exactly. Thank you.
Delta Epsilon.
I have a question as well.
Trustee Whitfield.
Thank you. What program is in place to keep track of the services that is being rendered for our special education based on the contract that we have here? And what follow-up and comparisons are being completed to make sure that, in fact, the services are productive and our students are progressing?
Okay, so for speech and language pathology, speech evaluations, as well as the autism and emotional disturbance evaluations, we track each evaluation starting from referral to the actual evaluation to the report, as well as the IEP being development. We have systems that we use called eSped, frontline system that we track. We meet with these evaluators weekly and review the reports, and we also provide feedback to them if we need changes for those reports, if we need any additional information about them. As far as the speech therapy, they do use our system that we also use for SHARS billing to track the services that's provided. And so we also use SpedTrack to track the services that's provided from the speech therapist as well as the school psychologist. And so we're monitoring that monthly. We also have our facilitators that help with the IEP development, and we meet monthly to audit all of the IEPs that's developed by these individuals.
Can you also please advise how is this information shared with the parents, and how, in what system is in place for the parents to be able to stay, on track with the progress of the students outside of the ARD?
Trustee Whitfield, with all due respect, that is outside the line of questioning. If you don't mind, could you keep your questions relevant to the matter at hand?
I am. That's what it's relating to. Do the special education services that is being provided? My question is relating to the contract services, and if these services also allow for communication to be made with the parents, and how is the special education contract being effective? Or is this just services to the children, or is there no communication through the contractors when it relates to communicating with the parents?
Vice President Smith.
Trustee Morris.
Thank you very much. Ms. Cronin, if you don't mind, thank you. That information is confidential. There is the FERPA Act in place. That information is only in the ARD meeting. I was just basically stating to you, Ms. Cronin. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Trustee Smith, my question is actually relevant to the contract services and how, and if they are in fact communicating with the parents, which has been an issue in the past. So we're paying over $100,000 for the special education contract services. So it's only fair to know that the constituents that are investing in these services as it relates to their student, that there is some type of communication through these contract services, or is it not, and is it only just through ARD? That is my question.
So we do follow. Oh.
Trustee Whitfield, thank you for that comment. Unfortunately, your time is also up. Board, this is also a action item. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Smith, I make a motion that we approve special education contract services with DFW Speech Solutions and Stepping Stones Group, amount to exceed $100,000 by the end of the 24-25 school year.
Second. It's been properly moved and seconded. Could you present us with the ballot, please? I'm sorry, is there any additional questions or comments? Could you present us with the ballot, please?
Actually, I have a comment. Trustee Smith, is there any reason why my question is not being answered? Because we didn't have a workshop, and if we had had a workshop, then I'll be able to ask relevant questions as it relates to the contracts that are being presented. But because we did not have a workshop, we're left here, and so I did ask that question during this time. Because we were advised during the last meeting we would have a workshop prior to the board meeting, so these questions can be asked and answered.
Sorry, Trustee Whitfield. There's a motion on the table. Could you please present the ballot?
Vice President, would you state for the record that motion and who made the motion and who seconded the motion?
The motion was made by Trustee Hamilton, and it was seconded by Secretary Morris.
Vice President Smith, just waiting for your vote.
I've not received it yet. Stand by.
You may need to refresh your device.
I just hit the refresh button. It's thinking. Trying.
Would you like to make a verbal vote?
Oh, it just came up.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Vice President Smith, at this time, I do have all of the votes, and motion carried unanimously.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Cromer. Moving on to item number 4.5, discussion and possible, 12.4, discussion and possible approval of Capital Outlay Committee recommendations for Lancaster ISD renovations and Fine Arts Department instrument needs. G3 and G4. Dr. Pereira.
Yes, thank you, Vice President Smith. I'm going to call forward Ms. Simpson, who's already at the podium, to discuss that information with our board and our community. Ms. Simpson, the floor is yours when you're ready.
Thank you, Vice President Smith, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Pereira. Good evening. As you all may recall, the Capital Outlay Committee was formed to bring recommendations to the board regarding capital outlay projects in our district about 3 years ago. Our goal is to take a strategic approach to addressing these projects while keeping student needs and financial responsibility at the forefront. This committee has brought several recommendations to the board, including repairing roofs on district buildings and the recommendation to approve the new baseball and softball fields renovations. And just last night, kudos to our baseball team. They did get the win against Skyline. The committee, yeah, we can clap that up. Yay. The committee prioritizes projects and brings forward recommendations for board approval. Before I continue, I do want to acknowledge and thank the members of the committee for their hard work and dedication. If you're on the committee, please stand and be recognized, if some of you all are here. Don't be shy. And since 2022, the committee has reviewed an extensive list of capital outlay needs and is currently focused on several capital outlay areas of opportunity within our district. Since our last meeting, the areas of opportunity focus on the GWC campus, the track and fields at BAMO and Lancaster Middle School, Old Tiger Stadium, the purchase of band instruments. While recommendations for these projects will be presented at a later date, possibly in April, the committee has determined that immediate action is needed for band instruments. And here is why. The last major purchase for the band was in 2021, and that was for band uniforms. The last major instrument purchase was in 2013. After a thorough assessment from the band director and our staff in fine arts, it has been determined that several instruments are in need of repairs, and due to several instruments needing repairs, staff is now transporting instruments from the high school to BAMO and the middle school so that students are able to practice on an instrument that is not broken. An investment of $432,000 is needed to purchase instruments for Lancaster High School, BAMO, and the middle school. This will allow all students to have instruments and stop the need to transport instruments to different campuses. We know that with an investment, it is important to establish a way to preserve the life of instruments. And with that said, and with that in mind, the Fine Arts Department is developing a rental option for parents. A student participation fee is also being developed. It'll be introduced for middle and high school band students. While the exact amount is still being determined, the fee will help cover uniform cleaning to extend the life of band uniforms and contribute to instrument maintenance. This aligns the band program with other district programs that charge a fee to help maintain essential equipment and resources. However, no student will be excluded due to financial hardship. Any student in need will be directed to our Student Services Department, which we already do for graduation and other things when any of our students are in need. So board, respectfully, on behalf of the Capital Outlay Committee, we recommend the board approval for the immediate purchase of band instruments to revitalize the program and ensure students have the equipment they need to participate. If you have any questions.
Hi, I do have questions. Vice
Trustee
President.
Nichols.
Sure, thanks. Thank you so much for you all working on this item for the band. I definitely appreciate the capital outlay bringing this to you all's attention and you all working together. I noticed that on here, on the amount of $432,000, how was that, how did you come up with that number? And also, I want to know, I know we talked about the rental, but is this all that we need to order at this time?
That's a very good question, Trustee Nichols. We had Mr. Bonner and Christy Gaines that actually went through and assessed all of the needs from the middle school, BAMO, and the high school. And so with that purchase, they went through and they itemized everything that they needed. And on your screen right now, you can see it will cover 170 instruments broken down by the needs currently. And so based on them going in and doing the research that they needed, they were able to determine that this is what we need to start us off on the right foot with 170 purchases of these instruments, these particular instruments, and they span with percussion, woodwind, and brass. And so this start will help us to start the process as we move forward to being able to rent options for students.
Thank you so much. And this includes warranties and all of that great
Yes,
stuff,
ma'am.
right? Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Madam Secretary.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Simpson, under the leadership of Dr. Pereira. That was a informative committee put together. It's much needed and more, and we are getting there. Children first. What they need is, that's all matters.
Yes, I agree, Ms. Morris.
So thank you all for putting this together, and we hope to see more come toward our way.
Thank you.
Ms. Simpson, I do have one really quick question. Is there a plan to dispose of or maybe renovate the older instruments?
Currently, right now, some of them are in really bad shape. I'm not sure, but that could be an option. Can go back with Dr. Pereira and our fine arts team to see if there's something that they could possibly do. Several of them have already been repaired, so if they can be in use, we will definitely keep those.
Gotcha. Were there any additional questions?
Nope. I'd like to make a motion.
Do I hear a motion?
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to approve the Capital Outlay Committee recommendation for Lancaster ISD renovation of the Fine Arts Department's instruments that are needed for the $432,000 investment.
You sure?
Yeah. I'll second.
She just.
It's been properly moved and seconded, moved by Trustee Nichols and seconded by Trustee Hamilton. And the ballot should be with you right now.
Board Secretary Morris, whenever you're ready.
Because mine is only coming up of the voting result, I didn't get the option to vote yes or no
That's
for
12.
some reason.
You're still on 12.3.
Let's see, maybe it'll come up now. Sorry. There it goes. Thank you.
Thank you very kindly. Board Secretary Mrs. Morris. At this time, Vice President Smith, as a result, the action item has carried unanimously.
Thank you very much. We're going to move on to item 4.5, but just as a note, after we finish with 4.5, we will return to our opening ceremony. 4.5, discussion and possible approval of budget amendment. Oh, I'm sorry, I said 4, I'm sorry. I can read, I promise. 12.5, discussion and possible approval of budget amendment for general operating funds, G3. Dr. Pereira?
Thank you, Vice President Smith. I'm going to call forward Ms. Dana Shaw Mosley to present that information to our board and our community. Mrs. Mosley, the floor is yours when you're ready.
Okay. Good afternoon, Vice President Smith, board members, and Dr. Pereira. This evening, I'm bringing to you proposed budget amendment request based on the vote that you just voted on for the instruments. It's coming out of the General Operating Fund. And the request is for band instruments in the amount of $432,000. The request is to use fund balance for the band instruments for classroom instruction and the performing band. The allocation will be $108,000 for function 11 for classroom instruction, $324,000 for function 36 for the performing band. This is a mathematical depiction of how it looks based on the previous amendments and where we are now at the far left column. I'm requesting the 108 for function 11 and the 324 for function 36 for a total of $432,000. And it is pulling from our fund balance. Any questions?
Any discussion? Board, this is an action item. Do I hear a motion?
Vice President Smith.
Secretary Morris?
Thank you very much. I move to approve the budget amendment for the General Operation Fund that's presented by Ms. Mosley.
From the fund balance.
From the fund balance. It says different.
I have a motion from Trustee Morris and a second from Trustee Cluis. Is there any additional discussion? Ms. Allen, could you present the ballot?
Vice President Smith, as a result, motion carried unanimously.
Thank you very much, Board, and thank you very much, Ms. Dana Shaw Mosley. At this time, we will turn to our opening ceremony. I'm guessing. Okay.
Did you turn it over to me, Vice President Smith? You turn it over to me.
I think it's turned it over to me. Oh, thank you. Dr. Pereira. We have opening ceremony. We have the Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Pereira.
Thank you. I'm going to call forward Ms. Simpson to share that information with our community and our board. Ms. Simpson, the floor is yours whenever you're ready.
Okay, this evening tonight, we do not have a student group, but I am going to lead you all in our Pledge of Allegiance and U.S. and Texas flag pledges. If you could please stand and place your right hand over your heart and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
We got the little kids where they going.
And we'll have the Star Spangled Banner sang by Ms. Simpson.
Then we will have to end the meeting, Vice President Smith.
Moving on to item number 6, recognition and commendations. Dr. Pereira.
Thank you, Vice President Smith. We're going to go forward. Ms. Simpson again will present that information to our community and our board. Ms. Simpson, the floor is yours when you're ready.
Thank you, Vice President Smith, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Pereira. Unfortunately, Board, I have to start our acknowledgements with great sadness and heavy hearts. We must announce the passing of our Lancaster ISD colleague and beloved crossing guard, Ms. Janice Wynn. Ms. Wynn joined the Lancaster ISD family in 2016 and was a beacon of light that couldn't contain her love for students. In October of 2024, Lancaster ISD also recognized Ms. Wynn as the district's 2024 Breast Cancer Month honoree for her bravery in the fight against breast cancer. Her commitment to the safety of students will deeply be missed, so we also want to keep Ms. Wynn's family, students, and colleagues in our prayers. And at this time, we will have a moment of silence in her memory. Thank you. Board, throughout this whole month, Lancaster ISD has recognized and celebrated the Day of Independence in Texas, as well as the essential roles played by our educational diagnosticians and maintenance workers. March 2nd was Texas Independence Day. March 2nd through the 8th was Educational Diagnosticians Diag Week. I can't get that out. March 7th was Maintenance Worker Appreciation Day. In addition to that, Lancaster ISD also participated in Read Across America Week by hosting special reading events, book-themed activities, and literacy programs to inspire students to become lifelong readers while emphasizing the importance of literacy in education and everyday life. And while we're talking about across America, how about our Lady Tiger track team has been a talking point throughout our nation after breaking the national high school record in the 4x100 meter relay, setting a new high school record, I'm just gonna claim it for them, with a time of 43:84. The team was featured on NBC DFW last week, and currently they are in Austin this weekend for the Texas Relays. We will continue cheering on these ladies as they head to state. So it's been really exciting to watch them burn up the track, and we're expecting great things from Texas Relays and as they travel into state competition. And at this time, Board, if you don't mind, could you please join me on the floor? And at this time, we're going to welcome up our Tiger wrestling team. Boys and girls, come on down. Let's cheer them on. Get some hands. The boys and girls wrestling team had an outstanding year. The Tiger wrestling team had several podium victories throughout the season. Shout out to Donovan Howard, Uganda Henderson, Andrew Swanson, and J.D. Demery for representing LHS on a high level of competition. Congratulations to Diane Wheaton, Ashton Page, and Victoria Brown for qualifying for the regional wrestling tournament. And congratulations to the Tiger and Lady Tiger wrestling team for representing Lancaster High School so well on and off the mat. And shout out to their coaching staff. How y'all doing? So we are so proud of you, students. We're going to take a group picture, so come on up, put your L's up, and let's show some Tiger pride to our wrestling team, everyone. Boy, you know you have to come up so we can see you. Try to get in the window because we want to see everyone with big smiles. Right. All right, now we're going to call up our Lady Tiger soccer team. This season, our Lady Tiger soccer team demonstrated a high level of commitment. Their dedication was evident in every drill, every sprint, and every game. The team was happy to end the season with a shutout win against DeSoto High School. Congratulations to Kamaya Beck for being named First Team All-District. Angelina Lopez was named Second Team All-District. Natalie Herrera, Sydney Hilliard, and Perla Cruz received honorable mention recognition, and the team is saying goodbye to 15 graduating seniors, with more athletes committing to colleges for soccer than ever before. So Kamaya Beck, she also competes for the U.S. Soccer Youth National Team. She will be attending SMU. Perla Cruz will be attending Mountain View College, and Natalie Herta will be attending North Lake College. Congratulations, ladies. All right, guys, so big smiles, throw up your L with your right arm, and let's show some Tiger pride to the Lady Tiger soccer team. All right, thank you, ladies. Now we're calling up the Tiger soccer team. Come on down. Tonight, we recognize the dedication and hard work of our soccer team. While the season had its challenges, these athletes gave it all on the field. Skill-based awards, the Golden Boot. Gerald Escobar led the way with his scoring ability. The team co-MVPs, Captain Anthony Hernandez, Jorge Huerta, showed outstanding leadership and performance. Most improved players, most improved offensive, Romeo Alonso and Angel Barria. Most improved defenders, Brandon Gomez and Jason Cortez. Most improved goalkeeper, Esteban Romero. Top performers, best utility players, Brian Nunez and Cornelius Ray. Best long shot, Hugo Sierra, and toughest defenders, Jorge Huerta and Martin Ocampo. Best attitude, Best attitude, effort, and leadership, the Hustle Award, Jorge Huerta and Martin Ocampo. Most fun player, Cornelius Ray. Best effort, Alejandro Becerra and Alexis Vega. Leadership and communication, Anthony Hernandez. Let's give it up for these student athletes who played with their heart and determination. And thank you, Coach Fortune Kaku, for your leadership. All right, thank you, guys. Thank you. All right. Now let's bring in our Lady Tiger basketball team. The suspense. We're going to let them make that dramatic entrance because they deserve it. Come on down. All right, the only way you missed the Lady Tigers' dominance this season is if you were living under a rock. Coach Legina Howard and her staff had the team locked in, making it clear that the Tigers mean business. Now, let's take a look at some of their highlights from an incredible season, which saw them crown regional champions and advance to the state semifinals. Team accolades: by-district Region 2 champions, area Region 2 champions, regional champions, state semifinalists, ranked number 8 in the state of Texas out of 1,657. Ranked number 4, Class 6A in the state of Texas, and ranked number 1, the number 1 school in Texas for points per game, 64 points per game. URL Region Team. What? The URL Region Team, Camoria Davis, Mackenzie White. Well, I want y'all to hear all these, so listen up. URL Region Team, Camoria Davis and Mackenzie White. Defensive Player of the Year, Savannah Barnes. First Team All-District, Monique Phoenix, Mackenzie White, and Camoria Davis. Second Team All-District, Ariana Davis. Honorable mention, Jalen Staton, Dee Dee Barnes, Brianna Morrison, and Kyla Cooper. All-State Tournament Team, Miss Mackenzie White. And I do want to say that the entire team received academic all-district. Yeah. So again, you guys saw them rep. It was a G-double-O-G-J-O-B. Good job, good job. The ladies put the L on their back and they represented, so we definitely are proud of you ladies, and we are wishing you all the best in all of your endeavors, and we already know L's up all the time. So let's give it up one more time for our Lady Tiger basketball team. Thank you. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. Good job, good job, good job. Thank you. Thank you. Now let's bring in our Tiger basketball team. The team leaders, the first one in the front. Come on up. It's Mr. Atkins. You can't tell him that he's not a Tiger already. He is. You know, you can't tell him he's not on the team. All right, so next we're going to recognize the Lancaster High School varsity basketball team on their 2024-25 season. The Tigers ended their season ranked number 5 in the state of Texas with a 27-6 record while winning co-district championship honors. Postseason recognitions include Nunu Jones as Offensive Player of the Year, Amari Reed as Defensive Player of the Year. Kobe Pearson and Jalen Brown were named First Team All-District. Jace Tarver, Drayon Thornton, and DeMontrell Bussey were named Second Team All-District. Colin Douglas was named Honorable Mention. Head Coach Farron Douglas was named Co-Coach of the Year for District 11-6A, as well as Inside High School Sports Coach of the Year. Also, Nunu Jones and Amari Reed were selected to the 6A Region 2 All-Region team, and Nunu Jones was selected to the 6A All-State team. Congratulations, Tigers, on a great season. And we do want to highlight that another special highlight for this season and for the entire program is that we were the only program in the nation to receive network airtime for a team documentary produced by our very own visual media coordinator, Mr. Andrew Tanelian. The All In, All the Way documentary followed the boys basketball team during the 24 state championship run. The production aired on CBS at 6 p.m. on March 8th and received the highest rating, beating out all the 6 p.m. shows on other networks, including ESPN, and it aired in place of two popular CBS shows, Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. So no matter what, all eyes are always on Lancaster, thanks to the amazing boys basketball team and our strategic communications teams for making it happen. To view the documentary, you may also go on YouTube and our website. So it is out there. And again, we just want to thank the team and the boys for the hard work, because without you all doing what you do, we wouldn't have anything to cover. So it's all about you guys at the end of the day. So thank you. Come over. You guys might have to come in front. You know, it's a little height. And board, Lancaster ISD Superintendent Dr. Catrice Pereira and Chief of Communications Kimberly Simpson attended the 2025 AASA National Conference on Education in New Orleans. Dr. Pereira and I presented on a panel discussion combating misinformation and fake news in public education. Additionally, we led an engaging session for aspiring female superintendents, offering guidance on building a strong professional brand while protecting their image. A very special highlight of the conference was when Elevate K-12 honored Dr. Pereira as the inaugural 2025 Elevate Her Award recipient for her dedication for her dedication to advancing women in K-12 leadership. As the founder of Sister Suits and a hands-on superintendent in Lancaster ISD, she continues to empower and uplift female leaders. She's recognized nationwide as the best, and in Lancaster ISD, we get to see it firsthand every day. So please join me in congratulating Dr. Pereira on the Elevate Her Award in 2025. She's the best. She's the best. Jack, go on and lead us. A good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. G-W-O-B-J-O-B. Good job. Good job. Woo! All right, board. At this time, you may return to your seat as I continue our board acknowledgments. So even with all of her national endeavors, Dr. Pereira always makes time for Lancaster ISD students. Just last week, Dr. Pereira's key communicators had an inspiring session focused on servant leadership and personal branding. Lancaster High School alumni Dr. Stephanie Boyce shared her experiences with our students as a student in Lancaster ISD and how those experiences have led to her success, notably as the CEO of the Fresh Classroom. And it has been a busy sports season in Lancaster ISD. Recently, Lancaster ISD students attended the Special Olympics basketball tournament hosted by Cedar Hill ISD. Students showcase skills they have learned in their adaptive PE classes, such as passing, dribbling, and shooting. The Lancaster Tiger varsity basketball team assisted the students in showcasing their skills. And you can catch our students in action during the upcoming Lancaster ISD Special Olympics track and field competition on Tuesday, April 8th at Tiger Stadium. And the Lancaster ISD Silver Tigers spent a meaningful senior skip day at Houston Elementary, engaging with students through storytelling, conversations, and a student-led press conference. Through a partnership with the City of Lancaster Senior Life Center, Lancaster ISD launched the Silver Tigers Tour Series. These tours allow members of the Senior Life Center to skip a day from the Senior Life Center and come and spend time on one of our campuses. And Ms. Morris was also able to join us. She had a really good time, and I think that all of the students enjoyed her as well. They even received a special press conference from the Student Council News team that asked some very interesting questions, and they even went on the fly, so it was a very good experience for all. And Lancaster ISD's Special Education Department hosted its Transition and Community Resource Fair on Saturday, March 22nd. This free community event provided students and families with access to vital information, resources and educational planning, employment services, healthcare options, and more for students with special needs and life after high school. And some upcoming events and general information. The Lancaster High School Tiger Band will be featured on Fox Sports during the Arlington Renegades season opener on Saturday, March 29th at Choctaw Stadium. You can purchase tickets to the game from our website, and a portion of the proceeds will go to the Tiger Band program. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. And it's that time again, everyone. Early childhood enrollment will open Wednesday, April 1st. Parents interested in their students attending Lancaster ISD for pre-K 3, pre-K 4, or kindergarten should register on April 1st. We will host 2 parent informational meetings on April 17th at Belline Elementary and May 1st at Pleasant Run Elementary. And Lancaster ISD is looking for qualified individuals to join our winning team. The district is hosting a job fair Saturday, April 5th from 9 a.m. to noon at Lancaster Middle School. So if you know anyone that wants to join our team, tell them to be at the job fair. In an upcoming district holiday, Lancaster ISD campuses and offices will be closed on Friday, April 18th in observance of Good Friday. And just a note for you all, District 6 Town Hall meeting with Trustee Carolyn Morris will be held on Monday, April 28th at 6 p.m. at the Lancaster Recreation Center Grand Hall. This is your chance to hear the latest news and developments on the current legislative sessions impacting Texas school districts in Lancaster ISD, and we look forward to seeing you there. And board, at this time, that concludes the board acknowledgements.
Thank you very much, Ms. Simpson. Do we have any citizens' communication?
I think we do, Vice President.
Vice President Smith, we do have one. Taryn Walker. Board Policy BED Local states that public comment during regular board meetings will be limited to 3 minutes. Please direct your comments to the board president, superintendent. If addressing an agenda item, please identify the item that you will be commenting on. Speakers may not use any individual names or identifiable titles when addressing the board if the speaker is presenting a complaint regarding that person. Although the board cannot take specific action on citizens' communication topics due to legal requirements, they will hear the topic and the board may have the item placed on a future agenda for action or refer the items to a board commission or committee or refer the items to staff or study for conclusion. We ask that you state your name and address prior to speaking and identify the topic that you are commenting on. I will begin the timer after you have stated your name, address, and the agenda item. You will have 3 minutes to make your comments.
Good evening, board. My name is Taryn Walker. My address is P.O. Box 5126, Dallas, Texas, 75208. I'm no stranger of speaking in public and tend to be well-versed when necessary without a script. However, to ensure my points are addressed and made without any anger pouring into this mic, I'm simply going to read this statement. A week ago today, at a town hall meeting that this board tried to cancel, a trustee who thought so highly of herself that we would name our high school after her came into that town hall and behaved in such an ill-mannered way that I could not help but to formally address all the tomfoolery that we continue to see unfold before us. It is more than clear that some of us are here to stroke an elitist personality rather than do the work in a respectful and upstanding way that our students deserve. For years now, I've watched as our constituents have had to sit here and watch the disgraceful and demeaning and damaging conduct displayed by this board to another trustee. There's been an apparent personality conflict that continues to overshadow the business at hand. Anyone paying close attention knows that this discord began following the request for documents and information. The saying, "a hit dog will holler," is very prevalent here, where defensive reactions in public and private have me extremely curious about why it's more important to try to bully someone into submission rather than just to present the information requested. I have brought my concerns to you about the way our students are treated, but how can I expect that to be corrected when the top of the totem pole is in complete disarray and pitifully believes that disrespecting one another is meaningful? There is still a teacher in my daughter's school who refuses to communicate with parents and is failing third graders. I saw correction of this 2 years ago, but it went unnoticed because our board is too busy fighting and bickering about trespasses, censures, and other frivolous legal actions. Perhaps we need to be reminded that our behavior has an impact on the student enrollment and city population. While we all continue to watch the demeaning behavior towards her, not one of the trustees have attacked her for failing to answer the call and values of her constituents, perform her duties as an elected official, or otherwise fail her district. You simply want her to be quiet about matters that you want brushed under the table. We hear you in public, and sadly you believe the things that you're doing in private are not being whispered throughout our city. But be cautioned, the attempts to continually humiliate her are coming to a head. Since I know at least one of you thinks that you have a law degree, you're hereby put on notice. You've committed defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and have tried to use the law to maliciously prosecute the wrong person's friend. I pray that the talk is just as loud once depositions and subpoenas start rolling.
That concludes citizen comments.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Walker. The next order on the agenda is the conservators' report. Dr. Pereira.
Thank you, Vice President Smith. Actually, I'm going to turn that over to Dr. Francois for that information. Dr. Francois, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Vice President, excuse me, Vice President Smith, trustees, Dr. Pereira, and community. I believe all of you have received the conservators' report for February. As you know, that report is in arrears. It's the month before or month prior, as opposed to the current month that we're in. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. But as an overall discussion or, I guess, overview of what is in that report, there have been no major changes in exit criteria 1 through 3. And both of the GPMs in exit criteria 4 have been completed. One of the areas that have been of concern for me was that trustees had not spent enough time actually evaluating their own performance, and I'm happy to report that because you all have been consistent about doing your LSG monthly time tracker and also working through the LSG quarterly progress tracker, that has changed, that you are spending time to collaboratively work together to talk about your behaviors, to talk about whether or not you are accomplishing what you are deemed to accomplish as the LSG roles are outlined. And so I'm happy to report that now you are reporting on that and you are working together to basically grade yourselves in terms of your work. Right now, the goal will be next month to ensure that when the report is given on training and the report that I believe Ms. Allen will give in terms of your required school board member training, my hope is that all of that will have been done and accomplished, because that is another big area that we want to see done. Overall, though, again, there are no major changes other than the ones that I mentioned. And again, I'm happy to report the GPMs under exit criteria 4 are complete.
Thank you, Dr. Francois.
Trustee Smith?
Trustee Whitfield?
Are you going to open the floor for comments or questions?
Are there any questions for Dr. Francois?
I don't have any questions, but I would like to make a comment. As a trustee, I have tried on numerous occasions to effectively communicate, ask questions, and represent my district in my role. And the report that is being submitted by the conservator, I found to be very contradicting and not really transparent to what has really been going on. Now, one of the trustees has made a statement stating that the conservator is not here to look into, I guess, the unethical and I'm paraphrasing, and or legality of the situations that have been taking place that affects our board and our district. However, it has not gone unnoticed that instead of the focus being on the students and exactly what's been taking place, yes, we celebrate them, but the issues that have taken place in our district has not changed. And I have on numerous occasions continued to bring that to light as well as to effectively communicate that. However, continue to be targeted via censures and my mic turned off, or even last meeting, I was advised that during appropriate time to address the conservator's report, that it would be discussed at the end. I would have the opportunity to discuss that at the end. And when that end came, at the end of the board meeting, shall I say, and once we reached that board meeting, I was disconnected from the board meeting versus allowed, and I was not addressed at all. So there are multiple things that continue to take place, and the issues that have been brought to the board, that has been brought to the conservator, has not in fact changed. And when I have advised that I do have proof of this information in which the conservator asked for documents, and I gave her information where she is able to obtain those documents because she knows that they're still not being provided to me, but to sit back and watch the board illegally vote to keep documents from me or keep me from obtaining documents, which is an infringement on my responsibility as a trustee, but instead try to, instead of focusing on the kids and what's going on, and to keep in mind, the money that is spent in this district is our responsibility. It is for us to oversee. So to hear trustees say, make statements such as, they don't need to look at it because they trust a certain person or what have you. Yes, trust goes a long way when that foundation has been laid. But keep in mind, this is my first term and I just got into here and I walked into a serious hot mess that has been going on before me. And again, instead of the focus truly being on the district and growing our district and supporting our teachers, like discussing options for our teachers to be able to effectively communicate, and me asking to place items on the agenda and being.
Thank you, Ms. Whitfield. Unfortunately, you've reached your time limit. We must go on with the agenda. We are on to President's remarks. Dr. Pereira.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
President Jones, the floor is yours.
Yeah, good evening, all. Please forgive me not being in attendance. I do have a statement that I prepared in relation to several events that have happened over the course of the year, and I will begin to read that now. One of the components of this deals with our GPM 3.2, which is currently off track and has been that way for a while. So I'll begin my statements now. To the Lancaster ISD community, as members of the Lancaster ISD Board of Trustees, it is our duty to uphold our oath of office and work each day to serve the best interests of our students and staff. In doing so, we must remain committed to protecting and strengthening the Lancaster ISD brand, ensuring that our district's reputation reflects excellence, integrity, and the dedication to student success. Unfortunately, when individual actions undermine this mission, it becomes necessary to address them directly. The antics and behavior of a single board member continue to create distractions that detract from our commitment to safeguarding the district's reputation while empowering all students with purpose and passion for quality education. Our Board of Trustees must publicly address this behavior to make it clear that it is unacceptable, unbecoming of an elected official, and diminishes the brand. A brand that our board members, superintendent, administration, staff, and students work tirelessly to uphold as a source of pride for our entire community. Ignoring such behavior would set a dangerous precedent and undermine the trust and confidence placed in us by the public. Therefore, I want to share that the Lancaster ISD Board of Trustees has convened 3 times to consider reprimand and censure of Trustee Tamika Whitfield, and has voted twice to enact those measures due to behavior that contradicts the Lancaster ISD Board operating guidelines, board member ethics, and rules of order for board meetings. Each instance provided clear criteria for Trustee Whitfield to follow, yet the unacceptable behavior persists. Most recently, on March 19, 2025, during an unauthorized town hall meeting for her district, Trustee Whitfield made several comments about our school district and the superintendent that were not factual, were accusatory, and were unbecoming of an elected official. While this pattern of behavior is consistent with past actions, we cannot allow this to go unaddressed. To date, the Board of Trustees has considered the following censures against Trustee Whitfield. The first was October 2022, in which that censure failed. The next censure was February 2023, which passed. And the third was November 2023, which passed. Despite these actions, Trustee Whitfield has continued to make baseless claims against the district, its leadership, and fellow trustees. As of today, March 27, 2025, no evidence has been presented to support these allegations. Therefore, these claims are baseless. Trustee Whitfield's ongoing behavior, comments, and actions continuously violates board ethics. Specifically, I will promote the best interest of students and staff and the district as a whole. I will base my decisions on information and data. I will respect the majority decision of the decision of the board. I will give others the respect I wish for myself. I will consistently uphold all applicable laws, rules, policies, and governance procedures. I will focus my attention on fulfilling the board's responsibility of goal setting, policy making, and evaluation, and has violated the rules of order for board meetings. Specifically, we shall ensure that their behavior contributes to the effective operation of board governance, shall treat each other, the superintendent, staff, and community members respectfully, shall ensure that all deliberations directly relate to items listed on the agenda for the meeting, shall address to the board president, not other board members, all remarks in disagreement with another board member, and lastly, shall attend 70% of board meetings in person. So, to be clear, the Lancaster ISD Board of Trustees does not subscribe to, support, or condone Trustee Whitfield's behavior, baseless claims, and assertions. Individual trustees have unsuccessfully made attempts to address this behavior, and the board has done the same through reprimand and censure. If this behavior continues and fails to align with the board-approved mission and vision statements of Lancaster ISD, we will be compelled to explore further actions to curtail this behavior, which may include involuntary removal from office, as described in policy BBC, board members, vacancies, and removal from office. The Lancaster ISD Board of Trustees remains committed to fully supporting our superintendent of schools and serving our students, staff, and community with professionalism and accountability. We will not allow disruptions and misconduct to overshadow our efforts in providing a quality education to the Lancaster community. It is our responsibility to protect the brand of our district, ensuring Lancaster ISD remains a source of pride where students thrive. We will take all necessary actions to uphold the integrity of our board, abide by board policy, and ensure that Lancaster Independent School District's reputation reflects excellence, integrity, and a dedication to student success. This concludes my statement. Vice President Smith, you may proceed with the meeting.
Thank you, President
Trustee
Jones.
Smith and Trustee Jones.
Moving on
Please
the
do
agenda,
forward me a
we are
copy
up
of
to
that notice.
item 10
I
that
do
is not
not
up for
have
comment,
that.
as your comment was not questioned, nor will his be. We're on item 10,
Trustee Jones, I do have a comment.
Superintendent's report.
Thank you. We'll move forward with the campus highlights as our first item on the list, and I think that is Dr. Okafor to present that information about Houston Elementary. Dr. Okafor, the floor is yours whenever you're ready.
All right, good evening, esteemed board members, Superintendent Dr. Pereira. My name is Dr. Okafor, and I'm the proud principal of Houston Elementary. I am so honored to be able to have the opportunity to share how Houston, we are transforming student success. At Houston, we don't just educate students, we empower our scholars to reach their highest potential as they honor at all times, exceed in all things, and serve all people. My success this year as a proud principal of Houston is only possible because of my incredible team, Ms. Blanca Rodriguez, Ms. Keitha Smith, Ms. Sean Baker, and Ms. Elizalde. Together, we are truly setting a new standard for excellence. Houston is a growing, thriving community of learners. Our students are diverse, resilient, and eager to succeed, and we are intentional about creating an environment where every child has the support that they need to excel. And due to the rise in our bilingual programs, we've added a section in every bilingual classroom, and although we had to make the difficult decision to allocate pre-K to other campuses, we have seen significant growth. A key factor in student success is the strength of our teachers, and we continue to focus on recruiting and retaining the best educators. Our campus theme this year is Better Together, and it has been our driving force, reminding us that collaboration, unity, and shared purpose create the strongest foundation for success. And because of our growing bilingual population, we've had the great honor of hiring 6 new bilingual teachers, and we are working together to ensure that they are fully certified. So looking at our MAP data from winter 2024 to winter 2025, our math growth for our K-5 students have shown significant progress. The most significant improvement came from 3rd grade, which gained 17 RIT points and ranked in the 99th percentile for growth. More than half of our students met their growth goals, with 56% to 68% achieving their targets. From winter 2024 to winter 2025, our reading growth for grades K-5 also demonstrated impressive gains. The biggest improvement came from 2nd and 3rd grade, with students gaining 20 and 17 RIT points, placing them in the 99th percentile for growth as well. From winter 2024 to winter 2025, Spanish reading growth for grades 1 through 4 also showed notable progress. The greatest gain came from 3rd grade, which increased 23 RIT points. Looking at overall trends, 2nd and 3rd grade demonstrated the strongest growth across all subjects. Math and reading showed significant improvement, with most students meeting their targets. We're working hard at Houston, y'all. At Houston Elementary, we believe that students should be celebrated, motivated, and inspired every single day. And so because of that, we have created a culture of positivity and recognition. For example, we have our Good Behavior Party and our Principal Dojo Party, which keep our students excited about making good choices. We also have our Goal Getters Talkie Truck, which rewards our students for meeting their academic goals. We also have so many clubs this year with robotics, cooking cuties, basketball club, step team, and so much more. This provides creative and athletic and leadership opportunities beyond the classroom. We believe that when our students love school, they show up, they're engaged, and they succeed.
At Houston, we also believe that happy teachers create thriving classrooms, and that's why we prioritize celebrating, recognizing, and supporting our staff every step of the way. We have our Teacher and Staff of the Month program, and we also have our Sunshine Potlucks and Birthday Celebration, which help to build a strong sense of community and culture. We also have our collaborative learning communities, which equipped our teachers with the tools they need to succeed through data-driven planning, lesson planning, and as well as best practices. At Houston, we don't just teach students, we engage our families and we build strong community partners. Parent engagement is at an all-time high through our PTO, student-led conferences, and our weekly communication. In addition, we have community engagement events with our Literacy Night, STEAM Night, Grandparents' Day. We also had our Veterans Day, and we have so much events this year. And it's brought families into our school, creating meaningful connections. We also have our business partners as well. And our parents and our community partners are not just involved, they are truly invested in our success. In closing, Houston Elementary is on the rise. This year, we have seen remarkable progress in key areas. For example, parent engagement has increased significantly, and we also have grown significantly in MAP, ELAR, and our mock STAR gains. Additionally, we are leading the district in attendance thanks to the success of our Motivated Mondays. We will continue pushing for growth in reading, strengthening teacher certification, and ensuring that every child reaches their highest potential. Because at Houston, we're not just improving, we are setting a new standard of excellence. Because at Houston, we honor, exceed, and serve.
Thank you very much, Dr. O. Any questions for Dr. O? Thank you very much for your report, and we do appreciate the great service you're doing for our community. Moving on to 10.2. Dr. Pereira.
Thank you, Vice President Smith. I'll call forward Ms. Kimbernique Coleman to present the information regarding the Pleasant Run. Oh, it's not Ms. Smith. Come on up, Ms. Pam. Come on up, Ms. Pam. Ms. Booker, Mrs. Booker.
It's okay, Dr. Pereira. Don't you just love them? Good evening, board presidents, Vice President Smith, distinguished board members, and Dr. Pereira. I am Pamela Booker. I am the proud assistant principal of Pleasant Run Elementary. Unfortunately, Ms. Coleman is unable to be here with us tonight, so I am standing in her place. This school year has been a year of rebranding where we have affectionately taken on the mantra, we over me. We must work together as a learning community and do what's best for our students daily. With that being said, serving our community is myself. I am the assistant principal, Ms. Kimbernique Coleman, the campus principal, and Ms. Veronica Hamilton stands in as our counselor. We currently have 597 students on our campus. As mentioned by my successor, we inherited all general education pre-K4 students from Houston Elementary. To serve our PRE families, we have 37 teachers. 23 of them are certified and 14 of them are currently working on their certifications. Looking at our MAP data from fall 2024 to MOY 2025, our second and fifth grade students are currently at or above their projected growth target in math and reading. Could I get a round of applause for that? Our remaining grade levels, kinder, first, third, and fourth, have room for improvement, but please know that we are working diligently and consistently to close those gaps. At PRE, we value school culture and encourage our students to take pride in their school. We celebrate their achievements and inspire them to become the leaders of tomorrow. Eager to showcase their growth, our PRE scholars were featured in an up-and-coming P-Tech commercial filmed and produced by the Lancaster High School audio-visual students. We also were fortunate enough to receive the LU system in PE for engagement and academics combined, where the students are over eagerly able to showcase their learning in the gym while being physical.
At PRE, we recognize the diverse needs of our scholars and are committed to hiring and developing educators within our We Over Me culture. This school year, 2 members traveled to our capital in Austin to enhance their skills as educators, while 2 teachers were also selected for the Holsworth Center Teacher Retreat on Lake Austin. Additionally, 3 PRE teachers' classes were featured in the first Learn in Lancaster series, highlighting small group learning, hands-on projects, and innovative teaching methods. We all recognize that stakeholder involvement is essential to success. We are grateful to our fathers and father figures for stepping up and leading our campus on Father's Lead Day. We continuously thank the early college students from Lancaster High School for partnering with us and volunteering their time anytime we need them. Finally, thank you to Altrusa International for supporting our students in need by providing a caring closet on our campus that includes school supplies, uniforms, and hygiene items. In closing, we are thrilled with the progress we've made in recent months and eagerly anticipate the growth that lies ahead. We thank you all for your support and your commitment, and thank you for allowing me to speak with you tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Booker. Were there any questions, board? Moving on to teaching and learning, Dr. Pereira.
Thank you, Vice President Smith. I'm going to call forward Ms. Bell and also Dr. Barker to present that discussion of the 2024-25 BOY, MOY, EOC retest process.
Good evening, Vice President Smith, esteemed board members in person and online, Superintendent Dr. Pereira. It'll just be me tonight and not Ms. Bell. Just wanted to give you all an update on our journey to 100% graduation rate again. Only have one slide and one slide only. And in this slide, when you see the BOY senior cohort, that is the number of students who needed to retest. Our total number of retesters are there. That total number includes those who are retesting on the end-of-course exam in 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. So our senior cohort, you'll see the Algebra 1, English 2 biology numbers from the beginning of the year. We put together strategic plans, not only for the efforts that the high school had, but Ms. Bell has a CCMR coalition where she pulls different people from across the district, and Dr. Jackson's team, MTSS wraparound services means something a little bit different here in Lancaster ISD. If it means that our seniors can't get to school, he and his team will go pick them up with a phone call. If it means that they are out of dress code, he goes over to wherever we have clothes that have been donated to make sure that they are dressed properly and don't get sent home. We know that if they are here at school, we can give them instruction that will help them to meet their goals. And one of the biggest goals for seniors is to be able to pass 4 out of your 5 end-of-course exams in order to be able to graduate. And so you can see the change in the difference with the middle of the year, having only 4 left who might need to pass Algebra 1, and I'll come back to why I said might. 14 who might need to pass English 1, in English 2, 24 who might need to pass English 2, none in biology, and 6 in U.S. history. The reason that I said might is, remember, the requirement is to pass 4 out of 5. And at this time, we are pretty much, I don't want to confirm, on today in March 27th, that's the date? At 100% eligible to graduate, pending passing all of their class. So, and just to remind you, this is the 4th year in a row that we will have 100%. 4th. to help with year 5, we already have a team of who work in academic options under Dr. Jackson's leadership. Coach Jackson, Coach Walker, they already have a plan put together for those students who are class of 2026, our juniors, to get a head start to make sure that before this time next year that we already know that we're at 100% for graduation. We support our students. We don't give them any grades or give them anything other than an extra push to get across the line. And so I'm glad everyone clapped, because I was going to ask for everyone to clap, not only for those sitting in the audience, but for you all as well for enabling us to be able to do this job, do this work. So thank you. Any questions? I do.
Trustee Morris?
President, Vice President Smith.
Madam Secretary?
Wow. 4 consistent years. What'd you say?
Yep, 4 consecutive years.
Since 1995, I've never seen this like this. Thank you all very much for all that you all do.
Well, I will say, to echo what you're saying, we consistently get other districts trying to figure out what it is that we are doing. Sharing our systems that we have in place. There is now a Best Southwest Coalition. They visited here. They send their top brass, Dallas, Duncanville, Cedar Hill, DeSoto, here. To meet with our teams to kind of look at our systems, and they ask all the time, how do we do it? We were recently, Dr. Pereira and I were recently on a call with Commit with the superintendents from the districts that I just named. They asked how do we do it? We talk about auditing ourselves, whether that's with curriculum or our finances, to find the best way and the best people to always make sure that we're giving our students our very best. We feel like we have experts here in the room as well as on our campuses. That's to be shown, because when those people that I mentioned visit, they hear our people speak. They can ditto on this. They offer our people jobs because they want to figure out how to do it in their place. Yes, it is the systems. It is the people that work those systems that make it happen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Barker. Dr. Pereira?
Yes, thank you, Vice President Smith. I just want to say this is the work that we do every day. Despite all the other distractions, my team continues to stay focused, and I want to say thank you to them for their continued ongoing efforts to ensure that our students are doing well. It's quite an honor to have other school districts in this state, not just in the Best Southwest, but those who come and observe what we are doing and how we ensure that our kids are doing well. They ask questions like, well, how do you have 100% students eating free and you are still making the level of progress you're making, as if students living in impoverished situations is a learning disability, and it's not. And my team wholeheartedly believes in that. That is the difference. So I just wanted to commend them on the work and the ongoing efforts that they have and the focus that they maintain despite everything else. So I will want to go on record by saying thank you to my team.
Vice President Smith, may I need to say
Madam.
one more question.
Madam Trustee, Secretary.
I want to thank Trustee Hamilton, Trustee Jones, Trustee Smith, and Trustee Morris for making the right decision to hire Dr. Pereira.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. And now I'm patting myself on the back.
Thank you very much. Staff, please know we are very far from perfect, and I think we've taken the opportunity to highlight that more than a couple of times. But I want you to know that this doesn't happen by accident. This is a labor of love, and We appreciate it. We appreciate it. And I can't tell you how much the kids appreciate it. Even if they don't know how much they appreciate it because more times than not, our kids don't get a second chance. Thank you. Moving on, we are up to finance, 5.4. Dr. Pereira.
One of those numbers. Thank you, Vice President Smith. I'm going to go forward with Ms. Mosley to present that information to our board and our community. Ms. Mosley, the floor is yours, hon.
Good afternoon, Vice President Smith, board members, and Dr. Pereira. This evening, I present the January 2025 financial report. A full version is in diligent for your viewing. The first slide represents the property taxes that are collected for January 2025, and the total net payments to the entity was $39,326,085.40. This data comes from the Dallas County Tax District. You have the full report in diligent for you to see. The next slide is basically an income statement with the revenues represented at the top and the expenditures at the bottom. And currently, right now, it is showing that the top drivers are instructional and plants and maintenance operations. And the tax revenue is collected. The due date is January 31st, so that represents, we've collected the majority of our tax revenue as of January, and you can see the percentages there. The next slide is also the top 10 drivers of revenue we receive, with the top driver being taxes, and the second driver being the foundation school formula funding that we get from TEA. The next slide represents the general fund expenditures, which I stated before, the top two drivers are instructional services and plants and maintenance operations, because we spend our money on our students, which is instruction, and our teachers, and then we maintain our buildings, and that falls in maintenance and operations. The next slide represents food services, and this represents all the collections that we get from the claims for the meals that we serve for the students, and which Dr. Pereira stated before, that we're 100% CEP, which all our students eat free in the district. So you'll see our claims numbers going up, and our revenue is projected to be higher. And then the expenditures represent the third-party payments we make to our vendor that provides the services for us, and also our staff that we pay out of child nutrition. The next slide represents debt service. This is where we pay our debt payments. This is January. We hadn't made our first payment until February for this calendar year, so you don't see any expenditures on there yet. But this is also where we put our interest in sinking tax revenue collections fund, so you'll see those revenues represented here. And as you see the notes at the bottom, that due to the refunding program we did in February, that we achieved a direct savings of $5,521,454 for our taxpayers. Overall, since 2021, we've saved the taxpayers $22,294,050.
Say that again. Say that again.
I'll say it again. So, because of the refunding we did in February, we saved taxpayers $5,521,454. Since 2021, we've saved taxpayers $22,294,050.
And that was including those senior citizens that took that
Exemption.
not to pay taxes.
Yes.
We still did it.
We still did it, yes. The next slide represents our investment statement reconciliation. We have two companies that we use, Lone Star and Texpool. All our funds go into the investment account so we can get interest off our funds. We have a general fund account, a debt service, a little bit of money in capital projects. We have our child nutrition account. And we have the two pools, Lone Star and Texpool. And this is the reconciliation for January 2025. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Dana Mosley. Were there any additional questions? We will move on to maintenance and operations. 10.5. I'm dyslexic.
Thank you, Vice President Smith. I'm going to call forward Mr. Roger Oster to present that information to our community and our board. Mr. Oster, the floor is yours.
Thank you, and good evening, Vice President Smith and distinguished Board of Trustees and Dr. Pereira. I'm here tonight to present our operations update. Since my last update, February 12th, maintenance and operations been working hard, staying on top of requests and completing a number of requests throughout the district. The picture there in the front end is our front end of our energy management software, showing that we have completed quick emergency shutdown capabilities now. So all we got to do is click a box and all the HVAC shut down, and that helps us save during those 4 CP months, and also for the RED program that we're involved with NRG. On February 26th, the district opened up the new Weibo market. The M&O team worked hard, making sure things were operational for the grand opening. Overall, it was a great day in Weibo Nation, and M&O was honored to be part of the great cause. Another project completed was the ADA ramp going towards the Coliseum, in between the Coliseum and the stadium. We have plenty of projects in progress, especially with all the storms we've had lately. There at the top was the awning on the north side of GWC. The middle pictures there are some roof curbs covering the auditorium at the high school. It took about four of us to get it put back on and screwed them down properly. And there in the middle was a portable building that had some roof leaks after the storms came through. After the last cold snap, we had some sprinkler pipe busts at the stadium, and right now everything is cleaned up and we're wrapping up the procurement process to get the power back on. There on the left pictures, the top left is the elevator pit fully submerged in water. If you know the area going into the elevator room, that looked like a fish bowl with all the water that they had in there. And you can see on the bottom right through where the ticket booth is where water was pouring out of it. We also had some sprinkler pipe joints separate, causing a leak one late night at the middle school auditorium. We have addressed the state. We'll be addressing the stage come this summer, sanding it down smooth and taking care of the buckling there. Right now, M&O is maintaining a 99% completion percentage rate. Any questions?
Board, are there any additional questions? Madam Secretary.
Vice President Smith. Mr. Rogers, thank you so much. You have followed behind our superintendent and doing a great job in our maintenance department and taking care of the needs for the students. I'm sorry. Thank you, Trustee Clewis. Did you hear me?
Yes.
You
yes,
did?
Thank
All right.
you.
That's the most important thing that you heard. But thank you so very much for all you do.
No problem. Thank y'all.
Indeed. Thank you very much, sir. Item number 11 is adoption of the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion? I'm sorry.
Vice President, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of well, that's on the consent agenda, but I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and seconded. I should have read it earlier. Terribly sorry about that, y'all. Approval of the following minutes: BE Legal and Local, February 12th, 2025, work session and governance workshop. 2, February 27th, 2025, regular board meeting. It was motioned by Trustee Clewis and seconded by Trustee Morris. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, can you present us with the ballots? Is there anyone that's unable to vote?
Thank you, Vice President Smith. Waiting for Board President Jones.
Actually, I think President Jones may have signed off.
Okay. With that being said, we have 5 that had voted yes, and we have 1, Trustee Tamika Whitfield, who have voted no. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item 12, action items. Oh, we already done? All right. Board matters. Thank you for your correction. 13.1, review of Lone Star Governance Board Time Use Tracker, February 27th, 2025, G4. Dr. Pereira. Dr. Lloyd, are you online with us?
Yes, I'm here. Ms. Allen will need to share the information regarding the tracker. She does that time. Thank you.
Good evening, Vice President Smith, distinguished board, Dr. Pereira. What you have before you is the time tracker, and you will notice that for the month of, from our last board meeting, you have done exceptionally well in regards to your goal, meeting your goal in regards to student outcome. And basically, the calculations are there. You are also meeting your goals as well as a board. And so if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But as of right now, this is for your review, and I'll turn it over to you, Vice President Smith.
All righty, are there any questions over the time use tracker? No. Moving on to item 13.2, discussion and board action on certification of unopposed candidates for Lancaster ISD for single member District 6 position, BB Legal and BB Local G4, and I have a statement to read. Certification of unopposed candidates for other political subdivisions. The Lancaster Independent School District certifies that the following candidates are unopposed for election to office for the election scheduled to be held May 3rd, 2025. School Board Trustee District 6, Carolyn Ann Morris. Are there any questions? Do I hear a motion to accept?
Mr. Vice President, I make a motion that we certify the unopposed candidate for Lancaster ISD for single member District 6 position, Carolyn Morris.
It's been moved by Trustee Hamilton and seconded by Trustee Cluis. Are there any questions? Could you present us with the ballot? Oh, it's already with you. Please vote at this time.
Vice President Smith, as a result, motion has carried unanimously.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Trustee Morris.
Thank you.
Moving on to 13.3, discussion and board action on order of cancellation of May 2025 Board of Trustee election for Lancaster ISD for single member District 6 position BBB Legal and BBB Local G4. And again, we have a statement to read. Order of cancellation. The Lancaster Independent School District hereby cancels the election scheduled to be held on May 3rd, 2025 in accordance with the section 2.053A of the Texas Election Code. The following candidates have been certified as unopposed and are hereby elected as follows. Carolyn Ann Morris, School Board Trustee, District 6 position. A copy of this order will be posted on Election Day at each polling place that would have been used in this election. Are there any questions? This is an action item, board. Do I have a motion?
Vice President Smith, I make a motion to council May 2025 board election for District 6.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Trustee Cluis and seconded by Trustee Morris as well as Trustee Nichols. The ballot is on your computer now. Please vote.
Trustee Whitfield, I'm sorry, okay. Board Secretary Morris, whenever you're ready. You want to refresh your device? I did. Did you? No, ma'am. Okay, I just received it. I just received it. Vice President Smith, motion carried unanimously.
Thank you very much, and we will be canceling the election for District 6. Congratulations again. Moving on to item 13.4. TASB announcement, the Lancaster ISD Board of Trustees is invited to nominate a trustee from the Lancaster ISD Board, School Board for Region 10, Position A, or Region 10, Position B seat on the TASB Board, G4. TASB announcement, the Lancaster ISD, we just read that, position is currently held by Linda Gooch of Sunnyvale ISD. Gooch has reached her term limit as a TASB director and will be vacating the position at the end of the convention in 2025. The term of this position is for 3 years, beginning at the close of the 2025 TASB convention and expiring after convention 2028. In deciding whether to nominate a trustee, here's some additional information about the role of TASB director and the timeline for nominations. The role of TASB director. TASB directors actively promote TASB's mission and purpose. Directors also supervise and direct the affairs of the association on behalf of you and our members. The TASB board is composed of members from all 20 TASB regions, which follow the boundaries of the education service centers. Local boards in each region who are active members are eligible to nominate trustees for vacancies in the region. Nomination timeline. This year, the nomination period is from March 3rd to May 9th. You may notice that this year it's earlier than usual. With the 2025 Delegate Assembly set for September 13th, we have adjusted the timeline to ensure ample opportunity for your board to participate in this process. Nominations must be received by TASB no later than Friday, May 9th, 2025. I would ask if you have any questions, but I honestly couldn't answer it if you did. That concludes our board matters. And reminders, announcement of CEC report in April, sorry. Next up, number 14, adjournment. Do I have a motion?
I motion that we adjourn.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded that we adjourn. Is there anyone opposed? We are adjourned. At 8:13.